All right, well, welcome back to the channel. Today, actually over the next couple of hours, I'm going to install a new 2250 Firestone RIDE-RITE air spring kit. This particular kit is designed for the 2500 Chevy GMC trucks, and I believe for the year models 2001 through 2010. So that's a lot of models there it'll cover. So why are we doing this? A couple reasons. Number one, these are my original air springs right here, and I probably should have done more with them back when I had the bed off the truck, and you know, go back, watch my old videos, you'll see all the stuff I went through. But anyway, these are, listen to that. Anyway, so these are kind of worn out. Actually, the one on the driver's side is still good. This one on the passenger side has got a slow leak somewhere in the unit, and of course they're leaking at the valve. I'm going to show you how I ended up testing those. As you can see here, this is pretty common, and this is what I expected. This is one of the fittings. Hey, baby girl. This is one of the fittings here that goes straight to the bag, and it is without a doubt leaking. And what I did is I temporarily hooked in the manual airing straighter valve so that I could just hit it with the air compressor and put, you know, rise them up. But this right here is definitely leaking, this three-way, so that's not good. What I did the last time that I thought I fixed the leak is I put some soapy bubbles up in here. When I say soapy bubbles, it's really important to use an actual, like when you're a kid blowing bubble soap or some kind of other glycerin mix. If you just use regular old dishwashing soap, it doesn't cling. It doesn't have that, you might want to put some syrup or something in it. I don't know, I read formulas online. It was easier just to go down and buy some bubble blowing. That stuff will cling to your fitting and then show you the leak. So that's where I found that last time, and it was just fizzling on there where it was going. I cut the line, slid it in, you know, whatever. It didn't work. So my fitting's definitely a problem. With that being said though, this bag over here, I've been watching it in the water, and it is every so often releasing a bubble from the backside of the bag, which I really didn't think I had a leak in that area, but this is why I'm checking them. So kind of a inexpensive way to, baby girl, you doing okay? All right. So inexpensive, quick way to find out where your leaks are. So I've been dealing with leaks in here, and when I first got the truck together, I could fill up the air pressure, and it would take about 24 hours to go from 60 pounds to 30 pounds, and then after that I would go all the way down. It turned out initially that I had a leak at the fittings, okay? Where they go in, I was leaking right here, and I can tell you it's really hard to get up underneath your truck. This is up high here. It's really hard to get up underneath there just to deal with this. And the other thing is I PR-15'd all this when I was doing the work on the truck, and I spilled a little around the fitting, and it filled the fitting up. And this end of this fitting, you need it to be able to go in and out in order to release and do its job. That's on me. I goofed that up. I should have paid better attention. I didn't, and it was leaking. Well, I did cut those, refit them, put them in, and pretty much stop the leak. So go back, watch my video that I've recently uploaded of my wife and I going to Willow Creek. It was amazing. Some really rough roads though, and we bounced around a bit, and overnight I lost all my air pressure. I could air it back up. There's a pump on board. I could air it back up, but I was losing it pretty quick. Okay, well, we're getting ready to take you on another adventure. We're going to Denali, and I'm gonna need all the air pressure I can get in these bags to hold it up. It's gonna be a long trip, probably the longest trip we've done so far. I need this working. So I started out by looking at the fittings. Fittings were, you know, definitely my problem before. And so I went to a place called, now you tell me, I went to a place called Six Robbles, Six Robbles, Six Robellas. I honestly don't know how to pronounce it, but they're here in Alaska and other places as well. But anyway, I went over to see them first and actually bought some of the fittings just by themselves because I knew I'd mucked up. See, watch how that moves. I knew that I had mucked up my fittings with all the PR15, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get a good seal. Bought those, and then that's when I came back and tested, dropped them in the water tank, and I saw the, you know, leaks everywhere coming from the actual bag. But that was the beginning of it. Anyhow, so I went back to Six Robbles, went back there, and I was hoping to get just the service kit. And by the way, you can buy just a bellow if you want. They're available individually when you get the right one for the right model. They had one in stock. Technically, I only need one because it's my passenger side that's leaking. So I came back home and I tried to get this bolt out. Now, again, PR15 strikes again. It kind of glued like a thread lock. The PR15 glued this bolt to the housing, and I heated, I oiled, I let it sit all night with oil in it, penetrating oil, and no good. Cannot get that out. Guaranteed I'm gonna break it. So unfortunately, I couldn't get just the service kit. So I'm having to do the whole thing. So I'm gonna jump on that now. I was looking through the instructions, and I'll go back and look at them whenever I make a mistake, but you can kind of watch me and see what I'm doing and figure out how to mess up before you do it right. We'll get started. I'm gonna go through here and look at some things. It looks like the first thing I need to do is assemble them. Normally, you're gonna clock. I want you to notice that the positioning of things where this bracket is specific, okay? And the positioning of this is pretty specific. I know these were working in here. I'm not gonna worry about trying to clock up the new ones. I'm just gonna duplicate this. What do you think about that plan? And boy, oh boy, there's golden retriever hair on everything. Come on in here and take a look. There's a sequence to this. The fitting, which again, I was just going to replace these initially. Yeah, okay. So you can see how it's in here. The instructions say to run this down until the thread tape that's on here is fully seated down. But what I've noticed is if you were to, you know, have that on here and then try to put the bracket on, it's not going to work. So bracket goes first. Again, you can see just kind of setting everything up here. And okay, old one, new one. This is the driver's side. This one looks taller than this one. Let's see. Yeah, it's taller. Let's see, by about half inch, about a ½ inch, 3/4 inch taller. Let's build this one out. I have to put the heat shield on that one. We'll clock it around. Be good to go here. This is where you get to learn from my mistakes. So I was getting ready to tighten that one down. And then I realized that this bolt that goes through this here is tight. And I've already screwed that joker on. So here's the answer for you. Put that bolt right here, the one that goes on the low side of your bracket. See how that one's stuck in there? Put this one in before you put everything together, because I had to go back and take this apart. Could you imagine up in the truck? Now, if you do it from the top down, okay? If you do it from the top down, then you end up with your bolt, even with the frame here, making contact. You don't want that. Well, there they are, already in. Let's see. Yep. So, instructions say, insert into hole prior to fastening air spring to upper bracket. Yeah. Why didn't I read that? Why didn't I read that first? Oh well, okay. Okay, so a big key to getting your line to work properly is to make sure that you cut it square, okay? You want to cut it square. And that's where a lot of people go wrong with these things. They make this jagged or whatever, they don't cut it. There are tools just for these airlines. You know, I'm gonna use a plumbing tool on it because that's how I roll. But this is just a little husky tool. You use this for a PEX line. This is so hard to get to in the truck. I already told you I bought extra line because I was gonna just fix the other one. So I have extra line. And what I'm going to do, oh, here's an example. Here's an example of how they get chewed up. See that? If you stick that in, that's a leak waiting to happen. So we want a good clean surface like that in order to start our line. What I'm going to do, and by the way too, if you're getting the real stuff, the name brand, Firestone went out of their way to brand their line. That way you know you're getting the right line. So this is a good clean cut right here. It's nice and square. This looks like a factory cut on it. Let's go ahead and press this one in. I'm going to take all this extra hose here and just loop it up. Make sure everything's good and loose. You're going to dry press that in. Really as far as you can get it. Pull it out a little bit. There we go. That one's connected. Here's all my excess. I'm going to just tie that up. Set that one aside. This is the passenger side. 1/4 inch wrench. If we want to loosen that, you can stick that wrench in there, press back on the fitting, and then yank it out. So there's your, if you don't own a tool specific, you do. You have a 1/4 inch wrench in your toolbox. That's all you need. By the way, I'm fully loaded right now, pretty much fully loaded. Not the ideal way to be underneath here trying to put air springs in, but we're going to. So let me show you. I've even got my firewood, and at least the porta potty's not in it. Anyway, I'm going to show you here. I've got a jack. See my jack? It's actually back here on the hitch. So if you'll, ooh, anyway, you can observe by putting the jack on the body of the truck here. Wow. Ooh, sound effects help so much. By putting the jack on the, I say the body, I'm on the frame, but I'm not jacking on the axle. Do you see that space opening up in there? That's what we want. This is not fun. Yeah, something like this. So, I'm gonna get this thing here and here. Where does the dang hole go? There and there. What are you seeing, guys? I can't see from here. Okay. Okay, somewhere around here, all right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's it. They're installed. End of video. Next. I wish. Ooh, wait. How? What? What? That bolt's there. Great googly moogly. Ah, yeah. That's it. Ooh, yeah. No. Yes. No. All right. There's the first nuttage. That's going to take forever to tighten. Oh, what a nasty, dirty girl you are. Uh-huh. Okay. So this, can you see? This was rusted out and gone when I was redoing the truck before, the original one. So I made that other plate. That dirt and silt, so lovely. Okay. So much fun. Oh, yes! Love it when that happens. Come back and tighten it up, do the other side. Let me save you some time. So I was noticing in the instructions, talked about this bracketry right here to remove it, give you room. I didn't do that when I put it in before, and man, is it tight right here. So I'm gonna remove that when I put the other one in. So this is gonna be repeat part 2. I'll catch you after it's all tightened up. Okay, I told you I'd spare you all the tightening. And I did that. So I'm down to the final tightening stuff now. But just to show you how I ran my lines, I took advantage of the heat shield that's here and took my line from the front up over under the heat shield, protect it from the muffler. Now this is the original old ugly line from before. So we will see how well it holds up, because you know that's kind of got some battle scars along it. But I know where to check for potential leaks. I've got my T here. This goes over the driver's side. I'm using the heat shield again to protect the passenger side. And then this is supposed to be heat protection tube, but who knows. So I got a loop over here to take up the up and down. Right now we're basically fully collapsed. So that's as short or as long excess as it's going to be. And then when you raise it, this should shorten. And got something similar going on over here. Oops, something similar going on over here with that one. Is the tightening of everything. And get all this in place. Right now I have all the air out of it. I got up in the camper and I jumped around, well, sort of, and tried to get the air springs to kind of settle in place. And now we're just going to put the torque on everything. Here goes our test. I'm going to go ahead and air it up. Let's see what happens. I'm going to take it to 60 psi. So far, so good. There it goes, just expanding away. Camper's going up. Bag is going up. Is that 60?
60.
All right, 60 psi. Bag is in place. This particular Firestone kit has both the pump and the gauge and the auto control right here, which is really, really sweet and has been super handy with me having leaks in it, because I've been able to, you know, bump and bring my pressure up. So according to the instructions, operating pressure is between 5 psi and 100. I found 60. I don't know why. I just like that number. Seems to ride nice there. Brings the back of the camper up and supports everything really well. Keeps me off the bump stops. So this is going to be where we keep a look on things. The way I've been going, this will be down to 30 come tomorrow with the leaks I was having, so, or less. So we'll check this in the morning and see where we are. All right, well, good morning. We are 12 hours since we were last together. It's been 12 hours for me. It's been 0.12 seconds for you. Either way, truck is looking good. I mean, it's sitting up like it's supposed to, and that's a good sign. But let's go inside and see where we were. Yesterday we were sitting at 60 PSI. So let's look at it together and see how we're doing. Yeah, boom. There we go. 60 PSI. I'm feeling really good about that. I know feelings don't count as much as performance. I'm feeling really good about that. So what we're gonna do is get this thing all cleaned up, and so we can just make it dirty again. We're gonna head up to Denali. So look out for that video coming soon. But for right now, we're gonna call this job done. If you're putting airbags on one of these GM trucks, you know, top tips, the cool thing is with a Firestone kit, all you need is a couple of 9/16 wrenches or sockets. And also when you're putting the air fitting in, I highly recommend you use a crescent wrench for the 1/2 inch there and not 1/2 inch wrench. Also, you want to get a good straight cutter of some sort. You don't want to be using dikes and just crushing your line. And make sure your fittings are all seated. One thing I didn't tell you, the basic kit here that we have, the RIDE-RITE here, this basic kit, this is designed to use the air Schrader valves where you manually air up the truck. It comes with the actual little Schrader valves for that as well. So you see these a lot sticking out of the back bumper and stuff of trucks and vans that have these air on it. This truck has a built-in pump. The kit does not come with a 3-way T such as this one. It does not come with that. The 3-way T is something you would use to tie left and right bag together. Ultimately, then you could go to one single air Schrader valve, or you can go to a pump. When you have one single, when the two come into one, it naturally will equalize. You'll be fine. They say in the destructions that if you're having an issue where your vehicle leans, you could do the individual lines and just add a little more air on one side than the other. We're not going to go that route. I am going to go back and check these, make sure they're tight. I'm going to bring some wrenches with me. When we get to the camping spot up there, I'll slip underneath there and make sure everything's tight. So there you go. Appreciate you watching. And as always, when something breaks, I'm just going to bring you right here on camera and we can fix it together. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time.